The most dangerous people in this world aren't the loud ones who shout back. They're the silent ones who don't even blink when you try to break them. Imagine becoming the kind of person who can't be shaken, can't be manipulated, and can't be controlled.
That's not positivity. That's power. And today,
you're going to learn the dark laws that make you untouchable.
What if I told you?
The easiest way to lose power is to expect people to play fair. Disrespect isn't random and it's a weapon. And the moment you act surprised by it, you've already lost. Point 1, expect disrespect before it arrives. Most people walk through life with this quiet belief that the world is fair, that if you treat people with kindness, they will return the favor, and that respect will always be rewarded with respect. But history, psychology, and real human behavior tell a darker truth. Disrespect is not an accident, it's often a strategy. People use it to test you, to measure how easily you can be shaken, to see if you are weak enough to control. Think about it. The bully at school doesn't randomly insult the strongest kid. They start small, targeting the one who looks easiest to rattle. The same happens in workplaces, relationships, even friendships. The moment you react with shock, with hurt, or with anger, you've signaled to the world exactly where to hit you again.
Machiavelli 5 centuries ago understood this game.
He warned that those who are surprised by betrayal, envy, and mockery will always be slaves to it. The wise expect it before it arrives, which is why it never unsettles them. Imagine you are walking through a dangerous neighborhood. Would you act shocked if you saw crime on the corner?
No, you'd walk in prepared, alert, cautious, ready.
Life itself is that dangerous neighborhood, full of envy, betrayal, and disrespect.
And yet most people stroll through it with their guard down, wide-eyed, wondering why they keep getting hurt. That is weakness.
Strength is expecting betrayal, so it can never blindside you. Strength is assuming disrespect, so it can never cut you deeply. When you expect darkness, you stop being surprised by it. And when you stop being surprised, you stop being controlled. Let's break this down psychologically. Why do insults hurt so badly? Not because of the words themselves. Words are just sound waves hitting your ear. What hurts is the gap between your expectations and reality. You expected respect, and instead you got mockery. You expected loyalty, instead you got betrayal. That gap is what causes emotional pain. The wise man closes that gap before it even opens. He walks into every interaction knowing that people are capable of cruelty, envy, and disrespect. So when it happens, there's no shock, no wound, just calm acknowledgement. And calmness in a chaotic world is terrifying power. Think about soldiers in training. Why do they go through brutal drills before facing the battlefield? Because if you've already trained for the worst, the real thing doesn't shake you.
Life is the same.
If you expect disrespect, betrayal, and envy in advance, you've already rehearsed for it in your mind.
So when it comes, it feels predictable, even boring.
And when you're bored by someone's attempt to hurt you, they realize they've lost. Here's a real example. Let's say you're in a meeting and a co-worker throws a sarcastic comment at you in front of everyone. The average person looks shocked, fumbles for a defense, maybe gets red in the face. They've just handed over their power. Now imagine you expected it. You walk in thinking, someone might try to cut me down today. When it happens, you don't flinch. You just look at them calmly, maybe smile slightly, maybe say nothing at all. The whole room sees it. You didn't break, you didn't defend, you didn't give them the reaction they were fishing for. That calmness is more intimidating than anger. And here's the deeper level. When you train yourself to expect disrespect, you stop taking it personally. You stop asking, why me? And you start saying, of course, this is how people operate. The sting disappears. Insults become predictable, gossip becomes noise, envy becomes the background static of human nature. The game changes because you're no longer reacting, you're observing. And observers hold the real power. Now think of history. Every great leader faced betrayal, insults, and mockery. Caesar, Napoleon, even modern CEOs, all tested constantly. The difference between the ones who fell and the ones who thrived is this: the strong expected it. They weren't shaken by betrayal because they knew it was coming. They weren't broken by mockery because they'd already imagined it. The weak, though, were destroyed because they thought the world would play fair. So here's your task. From today forward, assume disrespect is part of the game. Don't be surprised when people try to tear you down. Don't be shocked when betrayal comes from someone close. Don't gasp when envy makes people throw shade. Instead, nod silently to yourself and think, I saw this coming. That's how you strip disrespect of its power. When you're no longer shocked, you're no longer controlled. Machiavelli put it simply, the wise man does at once what the fool does finally. The wise prepare for human darkness. The fool keeps acting shocked every time. Which one will you be? Drop this in the comments right now. I am prepared for disrespect. Let the world know that from this moment on, you walk through life expecting it all. And because of that, nothing will shake you. Have you ever noticed? The loudest person in the room usually has the least power. Real strength isn't in proving yourself with words. It's in the silence that makes others question what you're really thinking. Point 2. Master the art of silence. Powerful people understand something most never will. Silence is not weakness. Silence is strategy. When someone mocks you, insults you, or tries to provoke you, they're not just speaking. They're fishing for your reaction. If you explode in anger, if you scramble to defend yourself, if you even show the slightest sign of being rattled, they've caught you. You're dancing to their tune. But when you stay calm, quiet, and unreadable, suddenly the tension shifts. They're the ones left hanging, wondering why their weapon didn't work. That mystery eats them alive. Let me break it down. Human psychology is addicted to feedback. When we say something, we expect a response. It's a loop, that action, reaction, confirmation. When you deny someone that loop, when you break the chain with silence, their brain starts to spiral.
Did my insult fail?
Is he stronger than I thought? Is she planning something I can't see? That uncertainty is far scarier than any comeback you could ever give. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago when he wrote, "It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both." Silence is one of the fastest ways to build that subtle fear. The fear of the unknown. Think of it like this. If someone throws a punch and you swing back, it becomes a fight. But if someone swings and you don't even blink, it becomes confusion. Your refusal to react flips the script completely. They expect a clash. Instead, they face a void. And that void is intimidating. Here's a scenario. Imagine you're at a dinner table and someone cracks a joke at your expense. Most people rush to defend themselves, laugh nervously, or throw a jab back. But imagine you just look at them calmly, expressionless, holding eye contact for 3 long seconds. Then go back to eating. That silence, that lack of reaction, will echo louder than any witty comeback.
Everyone at that table will feel it.
You've said nothing, but you've owned the moment. Let's add another layer. Silence isn't just about ignoring others. It's also about controlling yourself. Most people destroy their own power by oversharing. They reveal too much of their plans, their emotions, their weaknesses. Powerful people keep things close to the chest. They don't announce every move. They let results speak. And because of that, they always seem a step ahead. Look at history. Leaders like Sun Tzu or even modern entrepreneurs thrived by keeping their strategies hidden. Their silence wasn't absence, it was protection. Here's where silence becomes deadly, when you combine it with patience. Imagine someone slanders you, spreads lies, or tries to ruin your reputation. Most people panic, rush to clear their name, and in doing so actually give the rumor more oxygen. But the powerful, they wait. They stay silent, knowing that time itself will expose the truth. That patience, that silence, makes them appear untouchable. And silence has one more secret weapon. It forces people to project. When you say nothing, others fill the gap with their own imagination. Some will assume you're plotting.
Others will think you don't care.
Some will even convince themselves you're smarter, stronger, more dangerous than you really are. That's the beauty of silence. It makes others do the work for you. So here's your challenge. Next time someone tries to provoke you, don't give them what they want. Hold back. Stay calm.
Say nothing.
Watch how quickly the power shifts. You'll see their confidence crumble as they realize they can't touch you. Because, in a world full of noise, silence is the loudest voice of all. Drop this in the comments right now. My silence is my power. Let the world know that you don't waste energy proving yourself with words. You let your silence do the talking.
Why do the people closest to you sometimes hurt you the most?
Because power games don't always come from enemies. Often, they come from friends who secretly envy your strength. Point 3. Beware of friends. More than enemies. One of the hardest truths to swallow is this. Betrayal almost never comes from strangers.
Strangers don't know your secrets. They don't know your habit. They don't sit close enough to stab you in the back.
Betrayal comes from those you let in. Friends, allies, even loved ones. Machiavelli warned that a ruler should fear friends more than enemies, because enemies are predictable. You know they dislike you, you know they may attack, so you're on guard. But friends, they come with smiles, with trust, with warmth, and that's exactly what lowers your defenses. History is soaked with examples. Julius Caesar didn't die at the hands of nameless soldiers. He was murdered by Brutus, a man he called his friend. Business empires have crumbled not because of competitors, but because of partners who got jealous and turned. Even in personal life, how many people have felt the sting of gossip, betrayal, or envy, not from enemies, but from those they once confided in? Psychology explains why. Friends see your strengths up close, and while they may cheer you at first, envy grows silently in the shadows. They compare their life to yours, their failures to your successes, and slowly resentment builds. The very closeness that once gave them joy now fuels their bitterness. And when that bitterness boils over, the attack is sharper than any enemy's strike, because it comes from the person you least expect. That's why the wise man keeps his circle small, and even within that circle he never fully lets his guard down. He shares carefully, reveals little, and always watches for the subtle signs of envy. The forced smile at your success, the silence when you share good news, the small jabs hidden as jokes. These are warnings, and ignoring them is what blindsides the fool. Here's a scenario to picture. Imagine you've landed a huge opportunity, something you've worked years for. You tell your closest friend, expecting them to celebrate. But instead of excitement, you notice their eyes drop, their congratulations feel forced. Maybe they even change the subject quickly. That moment right there is the seed of betrayal. They may not act on it today, but envy has already been planted. Machiavelli's wisdom tells us it's better to have open enemies than fake friends, because at least with enemies you can prepare. With fake friends, you never see it coming until the knife is already in your back. This doesn't mean you live paranoid or trust no one. It means you stay aware. It means you test people before handing them loyalty. Give them small chances to show their real colors. Watch how they react to your wins and your losses. A true ally will support you both ways. A false friend will only be comfortable when you are below them. And here's the darker twist. Sometimes it's safer to keep enemies closer than friends. Enemies keep you sharp, alert, on guard. Friends make you relax. And in that relaxation, you hand them the tools to hurt you. Power demands awareness. And awareness means recognizing that the smiling face is often more dangerous than the scowling one. So, from today forward, guard your heart, but guard your power even more. Don't overshare your plans. Don't assume loyalty just because someone has been around you for years. Watch closely. Trust slowly. And remember, betrayal never comes from the outside. It always comes from within. Drop this in the comments. I protect my power.
Even from friends. Let the world know you've learned the lesson that most people realize too late, that sometime
The biggest danger is sitting right beside you. Do you know why most people stay powerless their whole lives?
because they show all their cards too soon.
The less people know about you, the more they imagine, and their imagination is often scarier than the truth. Point 4. Always say less than necessary. Powerful people don't waste words. Every extra detail you reveal, every unguarded sentence, every moment of oversharing, it gives people ammunition they can use against you. Machiavelli warned that words are not just sounds, they are weapons, and the one who speaks too much hands those weapons to others. Silence makes people guess. Mystery keeps them unsettled. But the one who talks freely, explains too much, or constantly justifies themselves loses all leverage. Think about it. In negotiations, the one who speaks the most usually loses. In arguments, the one who defends endlessly sounds weaker, not stronger. And in relationships, the one who overshares creates targets that others can later use to manipulate or hurt them. This is why kings, leaders, and strategists throughout history mastered the art of brevity. When a ruler speaks little, his words carry weight. When he speaks too often, his voice loses its edge. Here's psychology. Humans hate uncertainty. Our brains crave explanations, clarity, closure. When you don't give people all the details, they fill in the blanks themselves. And here's the trick. Their imagination will often make you appear stronger, smarter, and more dangerous than you really are.
If you tell people everything, they stop wondering.
If you tell them little, they can't stop thinking. That constant guessing gives you quiet control over their minds. Imagine this scenario. You're in a group, and someone challenges you publicly. Most people rush into long defenses explaining point after point. But imagine instead you pause, smile slightly, and simply say, "Believe what you want," and then you stop talking. That one sentence, backed by silence, will echo louder than 10 minutes of argument. People will remember your calmness, not your explanation. Let's look at history. Powerful figures often spoke in riddles or gave short, sharp statements. Leaders like Napoleon and even modern CEOs were known for saying less than necessary, letting their actions prove the rest. When a man speaks less, he appears disciplined. When he speaks too much, he appears desperate. And desperation kills power. Think about your own life. How many times have you overshared a dream, a plan, or a weakness, only to have someone later use it against you? How many times did you explain yourself endlessly, only to feel smaller when it was done?
That's the trap of words.
They feel like protection, but they often weaken you. The truth is, you don't owe anyone explanations. Silence protects you. Brevity protects you. Saying less is how you keep control. Here's the deeper power move. Even when you must speak, speak ambiguously. Don't reveal exact details. Don't commit to specific. Leave space for mystery. For example, if someone asks about your plans, instead of spelling it all out, simply say, "You'll see soon." That one line carries weight. It suggests confidence. It suggests hidden depth. It makes them wonder. And that wondering is where your power grows. Machiavelli's wisdom teaches us. A man who reveals everything is predictable, and predictability is weakness. But the man who speaks little, who guards his words, who makes people guess, that man is dangerous. Because you can't attack what you don't fully see. So from today, start practicing the art of restraint. Cut your explanations in half. Replace long speeches with short, sharp lines. When people push for details, smile and give them just enough to keep them curious. Let your silence make them nervous, because in the end, it's not the loudest voice that wins. It's the quietest one that everyone can't stop thinking about. Drop this in the comments right now. My silence speaks louder than words. Show the world you've learned the power of mystery.
And that from now on, your strength will come not from what you
but from what you choose not to. Most people think strength is about fighting back, proving yourself, or winning every battle. But here's the truth Machiavelli knew. The most dangerous person in the room is the one who doesn't even need to fight, because nothing and no one can shake their peace. Point 5. Detachment. The crown of power, detachment, doesn't mean weakness, and it doesn't mean you don't care.
It means you've reached a level where no one outside of you has the power to control what goes on inside.
Think about it. People insult you, they betray you, they doubt you, and they wait for your reaction. But when you're detached, you give them nothing. Their insults fall flat, their games lose meaning, and their power dissolves. Machiavelli understood this. He warned that the man who needs constant approval, who craves validation, who depends on praise or fears criticism, is a slave. But the man who stands on his own inner foundation is free. And freedom, true freedom, is the most dangerous weapon of all. Psychology proves this. Human beings crave control, not just over themselves, but over others. When they realize they cannot control you, not with insults, not with manipulation, not even with love or hate, they become uneasy. They respect you, even fear you, because you are untouchable. This is why the strongest leaders in history carried themselves with a calm detachment. Their empires could crumble, their allies could turn on them, but their inner balance stayed firm. That is why people followed them, not just because of power in their hands, but because of power in their mind. Now imagine your own life. How many times have people pulled you into drama that didn't matter? How many times did you waste energy defending yourself to people who weren't even worth your breath? Detachment frees you from all of that. It makes you unshakable. The friend who mocks you, the stranger who doubts you, the relative who underestimates you, none of them get a seat inside your head unless you give them one. Detachment means taking back your throne and saying, "No one rules here but me." Here's how you practice it. When someone insults you, don't react, don't defend, don't even overthink. Pause, breathe, and ask yourself, does this really touch my core?
Or is it just noise? 99% of the time, it's just noise.
Let it pass like smoke in the air. When someone praises you, don't become addicted to it. Appreciate it, but don't build your identity on it, because the same lips that praise you today could curse you tomorrow. If their words can make you, then their words can break you. And that is chains, not freedom. Machiavelli's principle of detachment makes you someone different, someone above the games of petty minds. The detached man isn't cold-hearted. He loves, he builds, he dreams, but he doesn't let any of those loves, any of those dreams control him. He can walk away if he must, he can let go if it's time, and he can keep moving forward without being destroyed by loss. That's the ultimate form of power, when you are engaged with life but never enslaved by it. Picture yourself walking into a room with this energy. Everyone else is tense, trying to prove themselves, chasing approval, defending their worth.
And then there's you, calm, untouchable, needing nothing.
Who do you think commands the most respect?
Not the loudest one.
Not the angriest one. It's the one who sits steady, self-possessed, detached.
People can't read you, they can't shake you, and that mystery makes you magnetic. So here's your final challenge.
From today, practice detachment in every small situation. Don't let minor insults get a reaction. Don't let praise make you dependent. Don't let temporary losses break your spirit. When you master this, you'll carry yourself like someone above the chaos, someone untouchable, and people will feel it. They'll respect it. They'll never be able to play with you the way they play with others. Drop this final affirmation in the comments right now. I am cold, calm, untouchable, because the weak react.
The average defend, but the master
doesn't even need to. He simply remains steady like stone, unshakable like steel, untouchable like a king crowned in silence. Closing at the end of the day, weakness is reacting, strength is responding, but true power is needing to do neither. The world will test you, insult you, try to shake you, but if you live by these dark laws, nothing outside of you will ever control what's inside you. Be cold, be calm, be untouchable. Drop it in the comments right now. I am untouchable, because respect lasts longer than love, and the person who cannot be shaken rules without even trying.